Welcome everyone. Today we have a new episode. We're going to be checking out the progress in the back of the store right next to the 1,500-gallon tank. You guys seen it before? We have an L shape. It's a 900-gallon system. It consists of a 500-gallon tank and a 400-gallon tank. And I can't wait to share this progress with you guys. So let's go inside. Let's check it out what's going on. I'm going to grab Josh. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions again. You know, he's been killing it with the team, JW, everyone at the farm. So let's go see what's going on. What's up, Josh?
What's up, man?
We're back at it, bro. So, if you guys are watching at home, there's an episode that is called All of the Display Tanks Are Worldwide Corals. And I want to say a week after that, which is roughly about 10 months ago, a year ago, somewhere along those lines, I made an update of these two tanks behind me, which we call it the 900-gallon tank. It consists of a 400-gallon tank and a 500-gallon tank. There's two tanks into one system. And it was looking pretty good back then. And then it went through a little down. We had issues with the RO. You put your head down to it, and I can tell that you and JW, you guys got down to business, and it looks incredible. So I wanted to show this to everyone. So, Josh, where do we start with this tank, bro?
Talk about the acros. That's the best part, right?
That's the best part. I mean, incredible. We're so proud. You guys see my smiling Josh. So, of this tank right here, this tank, let's just start with the dimensions of this tank.
130 by 42 by 18.
So 130 by 42 watt.
42 from front to back.
It is 100% aquapora dominated, and it looks phenomenal. Can you tell me why is it doing so good lately?
Well, JW put in the work. I mean, you got to give him credit for that. 100%, this is all him. It went from a 0 to hero. So when we made the change to the RO system, which was a trying time for sure. After that, it just completely turned around.
Can you tell us what happened with the RO system a little bit?
Yeah, so we had always measured by TDS, okay? So TDS just wasn't good enough. You know, after a couple of ICP analysis and after understanding what was going on with the water, we realized that we were getting all these like weird inconsistencies. So we're in a plaza, obviously, and water's fed from both sides of the building. We've got construction over here at SeaWorld, we've got construction over here at Universal, and we're dead smack in the middle.
And construction in the back of our plaza with all the pipes bursting.
Well, that's what raised the red flag. As soon as they did that, the pressure dropped, and we were running a really low sustained pressure, which anybody who knows anything about an RO unit, that's like number one.
Yeah.
So we were fighting the RO unit with DI, and we were hoping that the DI was taking care of everything, but it just wasn't good enough. So we changed to a different grade resin. As a matter of fact, we're running 2 different grades of resin, and now we measure our water quality by conductivity as opposed to TDS.
All right, so basically we got to the bottom line. We're producing better RO water, and we're seeing huge difference.
You tell me.
Incredible. I mean, I'm so proud of this tank. I mean, I don't even know where to start. So let me start with like, what is a maintenance routine looks like in a tank like this?
So Skylar performs a water change depending on how high the nitrates get. He kind of uses that as his marker because there's so many SPS in this tank. He uses the nitrate as a guide. Generally speaking, once a week. We skip a week sometimes. 20%.
20%? And
20%.
What salt are you using for that?
The Brightwell salt.
Okay, Brightwell salt. So 20% every week, and sometimes you skip a week here and there?
Correct.
Okay, where you keeping your nitrates and phosphates?
We don't let this exceed 10, the nitrates, no.
And it's attached to the tank behind you. Does that affect your LPS when you don't let it exceed over 10? You don't notice the star line?
I think these are some of the best LPS in the house.
That's what I'm asking. So
there's the caveat. If you look, those purple queen Anthea, they get fed a lot. So that kind of outweighs the low nutrient load.
So, and how do you deliver the calcium and alkalinity to this tank?
So on the back side of this wall over here, we've got a 4-head dosing pump that's delivering calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium.
Okay.
I don't know what we're using the 4th head for right now. Not entirely sure, but we also have Kalkwasser.
I mean, again, guys, if you guys are watching this video, this thing looks phenomenal. So another thing worth mentioning here, flow, we always put in this video, and obviously you're the master of flow. This tank was the one that gave us a run for money for quite a while. So far, I see 2 gyros of the old 350s.
Yep.
I see you got 1 more over there.
It's the same one in the back corner.
So you got 3. You got 1 standing up vertically. That's the regular thing, right?
Yep.
You got 1 vertically over there. You got 2 here sideways. And then you got the MP60 over there.
Correct.
So you literally can see the top of this tank, guys, doing this. I don't know if we can catch it with the camera in a little bit, but it goes back and forth.
Yeah, so this one in the back corner is on a permanent, constant 100%.
Okay.
And it runs all the way across that back wall. And what that does is it hits that back corner, and you can actually watch. Look at the surface right there.
Yeah,
every so often, you'll get a little vortex that comes down.
I see it right now. I can see it. And you can see the bubbles traveling.
Mm-hmm.
You can see them, how quick they move from the middle towards the end.
But the cool part about that is because it's going across the back wall, it's not hitting the corals.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about the gyre. It comes out in a blade shape. And then it gets up here and it crashes against the wall. And this pulls that water from that corner back down this way, twice the speed.
And what is the MP60 on that end for?
So this is where it got tricky. For a while, we were having problems with the dirt and the sand. We couldn't turn the power heads up because of the sand, but dirt was all over the rocks. And then this one here, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but this section right here was a dud. It didn't do anything at all. Probably because those aren't powerful enough to move this entire body of water down to here. So this just kind of like, it creates like a upwelling right here.
No joke, guys, this is one of the best SPS tanks that I've seen in a very long time. Everything looks just on point. Sometimes, if you want your SPS to look at its best, very best, you have to dedicate the system almost entirely to the SPS. Since we're touching up something else, for those of you guys watching, a lot of people have been asking, what's going on with the 4,000 gallon tank? What's going on with the 4,000 gallon tank? We've been waiting for a very long time. However, we got really, really good news. The city finally approved the electrical work. In about 3 or 4 days, the electrician's going to start the electrical work. We think it's going to take 3 or 4 days to get done. Other than that, the sump is about to arrive. The lights are here. The power heads are here. The return pumps are here. The protein skimmer's here. So everything's gonna go full blast. I can make you guys one promise. By the time Reefapalooza's in town, which it happens to be in about 3 months, this tank is gonna be all frame. It's gonna have the lights in place, the filtration in place. There's gonna be fish swimming around. We have the water there for what, 2.5 months now? We've been having some fish for over a month in there now right now, cycling the tank. So we're moving forward with this. So I wanted to give you guys an update. Be on the lookout in the next few weeks for a video update on the tank. So we're gonna really do this tank like to be world class. We're going to put a lot of effort into it.
That being said, I think that we can hit the ground running with coral. I think they're going to go in there and it's just going to be ready and prepped for them.
Yeah, this thing is not going to take a long time. Matter of fact is I'm actually started to quarantine next Monday. I'm putting a rag in front of the Pentagon and I'm going to be quarantining about 70 to 80 different aquapores, big chunks of them. They're coming from a clean tank, but we always take the extra second step. Guys, from this facility, we've been doing a heck of a job. 1500, Pentagon, the 3750s, these 2 tanks right here, 100% guarantee, no aquapora flowers, no nudibranchs from the zoas, no nudibranchs from the monkeys. We're so proud of that to say that, guys. It takes a lot of effort to be able to add this course, and we don't have these things. You're welcome to come here and inspect as close as you can. Seriously, guys, we're very proud of that, and it's something worth mentioning.
And now we have more aquaculture space. So that's that much more good, clean coral.
It's due. I mean, seriously, it took us about a good 2.5, 3 years to get the display tanks to grow the right way, to get the right amount of corals that we can aquaculture. Back there, if you guys come for Reefapalooza, we're going to be giving a few tours of the farm. Just ask Josh or any of the guys here. We'll be glad to show you around. But right now, the farm is looking phenomenal. It's looking better than ever. It's been 4 years since we moved to this building, and it shows.
So that's something to take home with you. At the end of the day, we're just a big aquarium, right?
We are.
How long? It's taken us 4 years to truly establish our husbandry techniques, our skills, the processes that we require. It's no different from having a tank at home. So when we hit a year mark, we're excited, but it's still a baby tank at that point.
Yeah.
Let it take its course. 4 years is not a mature system. And I make an exaggeration out of that, but at the same time, when we say it's been set up for 6 months or a year and a half, that's only a year and a half worth of circumstances in your life that have led you to where you're at.
Anyhow, back at this tank. So we talked about the flow. Lights, you're running Gen 6 right here, pros?
Yeah, these are 6 Gen 6 Pros.
They're bright.
They're really not as strong as you think. So there is a 5-hour full spectrum period in the beginning of the day.
Okay.
I think the overall point percentage on all these lights is about 65%. Every display that looks good, I want to have that lighting schedule available for everyone.
Cool.
A point that we need to talk about here really quick is this tank was intended for corals that we don't have in our other display tanks. That means that very few of them are actually named, which is good because it gives us something new to put up on the site periodically.
So right? Releases, right?
Exactly. But a couple that do have names, the Helios, I mean, look at it.
This is the most yellow thing you will ever see. It's just incredible.
But put it this way, it's better than the old school Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah, people call it Pink Floyd, and it's way better if you ask me. That's something that's been around for a while is the confetti.
Okay.
Okay. Ultimate Stag.
No, that's not the ultimate stack.
That's the wild Ultimate Stag.
So we need to name it. So it's very funny you say that. So we got the ultimate stack over there, everything branch. We need to maybe we need to give it a cool name, you know?
Well, we talked about that in the 750 video that we just did. We have so many different corals that we start getting ones that are similar.
Yeah.
They're not exactly the same, but they're similar. But I mean, you gotta collect them.
And what about the fish in here, Josh? Let's name some of these fish. I mean, obviously the typical little cover band, we can't go without them.
In every tank.
And then we got those white-tailed damsels, which I love them.
There's a trio of Caribbean chalk basslet.
Okay.
There's the big blonde naso.
Dude, I'm looking at this right now, Josh. How long you say those streamers are?
4.5 inches. So I'm not a fish expert. I believe that that's a male. I'm pretty sure the sexual dimorphism between male and female is somehow indicated by the length of the streamer and something to do with the spike on their caudal. There's a single pyramid. There's a male and a female pair of Bellis angels.
I see one over there.
There's the white spine tang or white face tang.
Okay, and what is this guy right here?
Springer eye dotty back.
Does he mean?
Yeah, but it's a big tank.
Okay, let's jump into the next tank. So this tank we say is roughly 500-gallon tank. This one is just under 400, but we call it 400 just for round numbers. So on the beginning, we weren't gonna do SPS, and he said, why not? Just let me just do a little slope on the very top, right? That's what you call it?
Yeah, the top of the slope, but we only did that because I was worried that the tank wasn't ready for some of our other high-end corals. And you know, if an acro is good, everything else is good.
Yeah, and then in top, and then we started them now because they were doing so good. And then also we wanted to test these lights that we've been testing for quite a while now, which is Illumagics. What's the model number?
They're Illumagic X4s.
Illumagic X4s. And we're going to be using this lights in the 4,000-gallon system. We're going to try them out for a little while, see how they work.
Correct. So there's going to be 25 on each tank. So there's 3 color channels on these, and we pretty much run it the same way as we run the Radions.
Okay.
Where we run a white photo period with all the colors in the beginning of the day, and then it shifts to just the blue channel in the afternoon. Honestly, it's very comparable between the two.
You know, you happy with the results that you're getting? That obviously shows.
I think these are some of the best LPS in the house.
Of course, they look fantastic. So a little bit of flow, obviously it's a lot less flow in a system like this.
But the same concept.
Same concept.
The majority of the flow, it's the drain from this side.
Okay. So it's doing the same thing. You see it from the top, actually. Fish on this tank. I see you got a bunch of those Antias. They're beautiful, by the way.
They're purple queens.
Purple Queen Antias.
Yep. So Brant definitely took them under his wing. For the longest time, they stayed in those 80-gallon frag tanks in the back.
So me and Brent were having a conversation the other day, and we tried Antias a few times in the 1500. They kept disappearing, and we ended up giving up. And I think it was a big part of not feeding the right foods at the right amount of times per day, every single day. We were feeding enough 2, 3, 4 times a day, but I think it's just the right foods. And sometimes I think Antias, especially in the very beginning, where they get settled, I think you got to give them maybe even more than that. Will you agree to that? Maybe the right foods? No.
The problem is we bomb the tank, right? And after 10 seconds, all the big fish have gobbled up everything big. There's not enough small particle food.
That's what I was meaning by that.
For the rest of the fish. Even the cardinals were getting skinny, the clowns were getting skinny, but the big fish are fat. So Reef Nutrition supplied us with a new product, and it's basically pack pods. So they have a product called pack pods, and I can tell you, since we started using that, all of our smaller fish and our corals benefited more from it, and we're not seeing problems with the water quality, which is the win.
So you got the purple Panganthias, you got a pair of Bellows Angel, and since we were talking about streamers, what do you guys put?
He's incredible. He's just a perfect specimen. That's the thing. It's genetics at that point. There's one other thing though.
Yeah.
There's nobody that picks at his fins. Same in either tank.
Gotcha. No one's rusty.
Yeah, that happens a lot with fish with streamers. There's a fox face in here. There's 3 fox face. Let me take that back. They went in this small. Remember, this had that weird algae that was across the entire bottom of the tank. We put those 3 fox face in there. Yeah, now look at the size of them.
All right, so that covers the fish. Corals. Here, we got agros on top. That Burness. Who do you get that Burness from? Or what do we call it?
Eric Camano.
And what does he call it?
I don't know. He sent it to me one day, and he's like, you're going to really like this.
Eric Camano from Route 66. If you're watching, I need you to get on the comments below and tell us what do you want us to call that thing. We can call it after you. We can name it after you. It's beautiful. It's like,
but it's grafted.
Yeah, but how do you explain it? It's like neon yellow with like purple polyps, and then it grafts to like a darker color.
Think about a birds of paradise,
okay,
but with pointy tip, and the polyps are further apart, so you can actually see the green on the underside.
Flame challenge. Flamethrower challenge. Old school flamethrower challenge, looking amazing. And then we got this encrusted Samakura, the grafted one with the green and the orange. We got from Jamie from iJam. I hope you're watching, buddy. Thank you for the hookup.
Our Balrog zoanthids.
Oh man,
that's something that's
freaking great. And then the mushroom collections you got in between going on. Then you got the little patch mushrooms back there that we got the rods that like quiet about those.
No, that's gonna be a big deal one of these days.
I was just like the grafted torch, that is a big deal nowadays. This is the next thing, you know, when we're working on this mushroom for a little while.
Maybe we can put a sneak peek.
Yeah, maybe we can. Why not?
What do we call that mushroom? That thing is.
I don't know what I got two in my tank and they got a little too much light.
It's like a uranium with a neon pink skirt.
So I think that covered most of the corals, Josh. Most of the fish.
You didn't even mention that shell.
Oh my God! I'm desensitized.
No, come on.
So guys, there's a lot of people out there. I'm not gonna mention names, trying to change the name of this coral. You're welcome to go to our Instagram post. You're welcome to go back to our website. We can show you whatever you want. We have this thing for over 2 years. It's called Cosmic Candy. It's a bounce chalice that we got it not just growing with one color, but with two colors we have it grafted. And how often you guys test water on the system?
Every week.
Every week?
Yeah, so I think Joey still tests alkalinity 3 times a week.
Okay.
But I know for a fact that we test everything else once a week.
And let's look at the filtration real quick. So what do we have for filtration on this system?
This is a deep blue 60-gallon aquarium.
Oh, so this is a DIY.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at here, we can see that you have a piece of starboard that you put at the end of the tank.
Yep, that's where we put the bulkhead.
You got a milk crate with just a bunch of floss. And just basically replace the floss and just whatever is dirty.
It's a Nios Quantum 220.
Okay, and that's it. That's not too big.
They run GFO here.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we do have to feed these fish really heavy.
Okay.
So we do deal with the phosphate a little bit.
And let me ask, the reason why you're keeping the level of the sump so low is because the sump is not the biggest sump in the world, and it's pretty large system. So if the system shuts down,
so the water level that you set your sump at, your final water level should always be with your power completely off. So when you turn it on, wherever it comes down to is where it needs to stay. At the end of the day, that's the answer, because then you know that with the power off, it'll hold every bit of water that it needs to. Power goes out periodically. Here in Florida, we get a lot of storms, so that happens all the time here.
So one more thing I want to mention, if you guys watching at home, if you happen to have a beautiful tank that you want me to come and fill, we're going to be in Atlanta in the next, I want to say the first week of February, roughly, in the next few weeks. If you want us to come film your tank, please send us an email. We'll be glad to contact you guys back to come film your tank. If you don't happen to be in Atlanta, let's say you happen to be in another state or in another country, no problem. We're planning to do international trips here in the near future. So please send us your information so we can put you into a little Rolodex. So next time we're in your town, we can contact you. We can come film your tank. Well, Josh, thanks for having us over, bro. If again, you guys are killing it with this tank. Everyone watching at home, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A lot of knowledge going on here. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, post some comments below. We'll see you guys on the next episode.